Dr. Elsa Hartmann pressed her forehead against the observation window of Research Station Kepler 442b, watching the twin suns cast amber shadows across the alien settlement below. 3 years into first contact, and humanity was still learning that intelligence came in forms no xenobiologist had predicted. "They're doing it again," Alex Chen said, sliding his tablet across the lab table. The holographic display showed two juvenile Kef, what the research team had nicknamed the Cubs, arranging geometric patterns with startling precision. Elsa studied the feed from the habitat dome. The Cubs, barely 18 months old in Earth Standard Time, had discovered yesterday's offering, apple slices from the hydroponics bay. Now they sat in the red dust, their six-fingered hands sorting the fruit pieces with mathematical rigor. Perfect circles in one pile, crescents in another, irregular shapes discarded entirely. "Neural scans?" Elsa asked. Alex pulled up the data. "Prefrontal cortex activity is off the charts. Pattern recognition centers are firing at rates we've never seen in human children of equivalent developmental age. They're not just sorting by shape, they're applying geometric principles." The Kef were a paradox, wrapped in copper-colored fur. Their civilization possessed no written language, no permanent structures, no technology beyond simple stone tools. Yet their mathematics was elegant, their astronomical knowledge profound, all passed down through intricate sonic patterns their vocal cords produced in frequencies humans couldn't hear without equipment. Earth's diplomats had dismissed them as primitive. Elsa knew better. She grabbed her environment suit. "I'm going down. The protocol committee won't approve. The protocol committee is 8 light years away. By the time their permission arrives, these cubs will be adults." Elsa sealed her helmet. "Besides, we're not just observing anymore. We're participating in something unprecedented." The habitat dome maintained Kef atmospheric conditions, higher oxygen, lower nitrogen, trace amounts of argon that gave everything a slight shimmer. Elsa's boots crunched on the rust-colored soil as she approached the cubs. The larger one, they'd named her Nova, looked up with eyes like polished onyx. Her companion, Orbit, continued arranging apple slices into a perfect hexagonal pattern. Elsa knelt slowly, pulling a container from her utility pack. She'd spent the morning in the kitchen, using a laser cutter calibrated to 0.01 millimeter precision. Inside, apple slices cut into perfect mathematical shapes: equilateral triangles, regular pentagons, golden ratio spirals. Nova's ear tufts quivered, the Kef equivalent of intense curiosity. She reached out, her movements deliberate, and selected a perfect circle. She held it up to the amber sunlight, turning it slowly, examining how the light diffracted through the translucent flesh. Then she began to hum. The sound started below human hearing range, but Elsa's suit sensors translated it into visible waveforms on her heads-up display. Mathematics made audible. The frequency shifted, creating harmonics that described the circle's properties: radius, circumference, area. Nova was singing geometry. Orbit joined in, selecting a triangle. Their voices wove together, creating interference patterns that Elsa's computer struggled to map. But the meaning was clear. They were discussing the relationships between shapes, exploring concepts of symmetry and proportion through sound. "Alex, are you seeing this?" Elsa whispered into her comm. "Recording everything. Elsa, the complexity of their sonic mathematics. It's beyond undergraduate-level calculus. They're deriving theorems in real time." Nova placed the circle carefully on the ground, then looked directly at Elsa. The cub's hand moved in a gesture that clearly meant more. Elsa opened the container wider. The cubs sorted through the shapes with increasing excitement, their humming growing more complex. They began building structures, three-dimensional geometric solids constructed from two-dimensional fruit slices, a tetrahedron, an octahedron. They were discovering platonic solids through tactile experimentation. "They're not just intelligent," Elsa breathed. They're mathematical savants. Their entire cognitive framework is built on geometric principles. Which explains why they never developed written language, Alex added through the comm. Why would you need it when you can encode complex information in harmonic frequencies? Elsa, this changes everything we thought we knew about developmental intelligence. Nova abandoned her construction and moved closer to Elsa. The cub's small hand reached out, touching the faceplate of the helmet. Then she began to hum again, but this time the pattern was different, simpler, repetitive. She's trying to teach you, Alex said, wonder in his voice. Elsa activated her suit's external speakers and attempted to replicate the sound. It came out mangled, mechanical. Nova's ear tufts flattened. Disappointment. But she tried again, breaking the pattern into smaller pieces, scaffolding the lesson for a species that couldn't hear what she heard or think the way she thought. For the next hour, Elsa sat in the red dust, while two alien children taught her to count in frequencies. Not words, not symbols. Pure mathematical relationships expressed as sound. When the session ended, the cubs carefully gathered all the perfect geometric shapes and arranged them in a spiral pattern. A Fibonacci sequence, Elsa realized. The imperfect pieces they brought to her, placing them in her hands. A gift, a gesture of inclusion. Back in the lab, Alex had already begun drafting their report. The xenopsychology department will have a field day. We've been approaching first contact all wrong. We built translation matrices for language, but the Kef don't think in language. They think in math. Elsa removed her helmet, her mind racing with implications. Tomorrow I'm bringing them fractals. Let's see if they can conceptualize infinity. The cubs discovered fruit slices, Alex said, shaking his head in amazement. And now they're teaching us that intelligence doesn't require the tools we assumed were universal. No writing, no machines, just pure mathematical cognition passed down through song. Elsa looked at the spiral of perfect shapes displayed on the monitor, preserved forever in digital memory. Humanity's been so proud of our technology, our written language, our cities, but the Kef? They've achieved mathematical sophistication we're only beginning to understand. And they did it with nothing but their minds and their voices. Outside, the twin suns set over the alien landscape. In the habitat dome, two cubs hummed themselves to sleep, their dreams full of perfect shapes and infinite possibilities. And tomorrow, Elsa would bring them fractals.